Hi, this is the Divine Miss Mikki. Well, I'm going to try and keep this rather short because it is another stinker here in Queensland, Australia. I've got the fan, tried to turn that away. I've had to turn the aircon on. I'm going to start sweating like crazy soon. But this is Queensland. This is what happens in summer. So I know some of you are going, we've got snow. How dare she talk about heat? But it's kind of like I'm almost thinking that a dip in the snow would be pretty good right now. Except I can't stand the cold. So anyway, I hope everyone is doing well. I know there's a lot of energies around and it's kind of making everyone, take a breath. Just relax. If you're feeling antsy, just go, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I do with this? What's the lesson for me? And just take those breaths. And, if you need to go and just go watch a movie or go outside and hug a tree or whatever just helps you just distract from all the chaos that's going on around. And I had it in my head what I was going to say, and it's just like, oh, gone. Okay, well, we'll just get straight into it. Remember, please, if you can, to like and share and subscribe, and please share. I am working on getting, as soon as it's cool enough, some videos up and starting a TikTok channel where there'll be just short videos, and I am working on numerology for February. I like to actually go much deeper than some things. When I do a numerology reading for people, I do the name as well as the date of birth. And I look at where, like there's things called planes of expression, and it's where they have strengths, where they have weaknesses, finding areas that they can excel at, and where there's challenges, because we all have them. My birth chart is made up of 6s and 9s. On my birth name, and it's sort of like I was the biggest doormat you could imagine. It's like, yeah, wipe your feet on me, it's okay, I'll come back and I'll put up with some more. And then because my dad changed our surname, if you saw my previous video about my dad was Czech, and of course we had a Czech surname. I was the only one in the family that had a Czech first name as well. And so Dad changed our surname. He said to make us, fit in the Anglo-Saxon, Australian, not have a foreign name and all this sort of stuff. The feeling I got later, and he just told me that, yeah, it's right. It's actually because of what Dad did in the resistance, starting the resistance, escaping twice from the country, pissed them off pretty big. But he decided after the 1968 rebellion that he was going to change our surname. And then I never felt comfortable. I never felt like I quite fit in. And so it's quite an odd way, but I started going out again. I was a very young teenager. And I was going out with a guy called Michael, and they called us the two Micks because they couldn't say my first name. And so long after he was gone, Mikki, it progressed, and then I got to the spelling, and then I figured out, I didn't figure out, I got taught numerology. And that's when I realised that I had taken my numbers back to my birth name, but I'd given myself the number 7. And 7 is the number for discernment. So name changes can really do you a lot of good, but they also can work against you. When my dad changed our surname, it went against my numbers, my birth numbers, because your birth numbers are there for life, even with name changes. But when he changed our surname, it kind of sent everything out of whack. When I got to the spelling of Mikki, he put my numbers back in, but it gave me the 7. That was an enhancement. For those, to a little bit of numerology here, is the 6 is the humanitarian, out of feeling of responsibility. They love to add beauty to the home. Very much family orientated. The negatives, they have to watch out not to be dominated. Being a Leo, I have to watch that. Then the 9 is the humanitarian, out of love, out of just wanting the best for everyone. It's also very dramatic. It's a very dramatic number. It's a completion number as well, because numerology goes from 1 to 9. And this is not actually what I plan to talk about tonight, but you know what? Let's go with it. So might as well stick with the numerology. Obviously, this is where they want us to go, because I was going to talk about something else. Well, okay. So this is the importance of knowing your numbers. People look at astrology, and astrology is definitely an important aspect, and I like to look at the very basics. I don't know how to do an astrology chart. I can do a numerology chart, but astrology, I look at it and go, what the? And so I know about star signs. I know about rising, which are ascendants. I know what the moon does. I know that Mercury is communication, and Venus is your relationships, and your rising is how you project out to the world and how they see you. In numerology, the heart's desire, which is how I was taught it, is the inner self, which is also the moon. That's your emotions. In numerology, you have the personality number. That is your outer expression. The rising, the ascendant sign, how others perceive you. So it all sort of can marry together. I love to look at also the influence of Chinese astrology, and I've become quite fascinated by Vedic astrology, but yeah, that might be complicating things a little bit too much. But when you think of it, we're all individuals. So just looking at your sun sign is not enough. Just looking at your date of birth is not enough. If you want to get right down, look at everything. And then you can really hone in on those little areas, the areas to work on to enhance your growth. The areas that, I really need to change that, don't I? That was one of the things. Having Venus in Virgo, sometimes a little bit critical. Had to learn not to be like that. But in Western astrology, my moon is in Cancer. So the eternal mother, nurturer, which also in a sense goes with the Leo, and I'm late sign Leo. But Pisces rising, people see, she's very calm, wishy-washy, and all this, and then they hear me roar and they go, ooh, a bit more there. And that's where the astrology comes in, and then of course there's my the numerology. Your date of birth is your birth force. in some numerology they call it your life path. It is what you're here to do. It's your skills. It gives you an idea of which direction is best to go in. It helps you find your way. But that works to a certain point. In my date of birth, I have 88s. That can make me quite meticulous. Some people have only a few numbers, like the children born from the year 2000 on. There's quite a high percentage of them that are missing certain numbers because they're not in the 1900s anymore. So they are missing, some miss the 1, and 1 is the number of independence, and that's the mind. And there are also some that are missing the 9. Not all, because you've still got the date of birth, the day and the month that go into that, and then which part of the 2000. So it can be made up, but like you can catch up. So it really helps to figure out, get help to know. That's where a numerologist, an astrologer, Vedic astrology, fascinating. There's some really, really good Vedic astrologers on YouTube. One of my favourites. And I love you all, but I've got to say, Hoagie, you're gorgeous. We love you. You are the sweetest, most adorable, knowledgeable person. It's just wonderful. So I'm giving a plug for good old Hogarth. But I've gone totally off track. I do that, in case you haven't noticed. Well, I'll give you a little insight into what's coming in February. And just basically, we know, well, a lot of people know we're in a universal 8-year. Now, an 8-year, when I say universal, it means it's the energies that are sort of like governing everyone. It's like that umbrella, and the 8 is the umbrella, and all that energy of the 8 is coming down. But then you have your own personal year, personal month, and personal day, which can work with that 8 or sometimes clash. I'll give you an example, is that for myself, I'm in a personal 7-year. This is one of spiritual growth and learning, and it can be about spiritual teaching. It's not, 7 is not a number that you go chasing money. It doesn't mean you can't have money, but you don't chase it. If you want to put in a lotto, fine. If you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. You just go, that was a bit of fun. That's not chasing. That's just going, yeah, whatever. It's cool. But my birth force is a 6. And this is where numbers can get interesting, because my birth force and my personal year can actually work against each other. Have you heard of the saying, being at 6s and 7s? Well, that kind of comes with the numerology. 6 and 7 sometimes don't work well together. But you can marry them a bit. You can make them come together and find that happy place. And that's... and I've gone off track again. Anyway. 2024 is an 8-year. How do you get your universal year? You add the numbers together. 2 plus 2 plus 4. 8. How do you get your personal year? Your personal year is your date of birth, then your month of birth. Then you add the year that you want to get the number for. So to get mine, my birthday is the 18th of the 8th. So 1 plus 8 is 9. Plus 8 is 17. I'm adding up at like 10 to 12 at night. It's nearly morning, nearly the next day. But anyway, so we've got 18, that's 9, plus 8 is 17. And being 2024, we know that already that comes to an 8. So 17 plus 8 is 25. 2 and 5 is 7. So that's how you work out your personal year. Your personal month, you take your personal year, add it to the month. To get the universal month, you do the same thing but using the universal numbers. So to get the universal number for February is a 1, which is very, very interesting, being an 8 year. We know a lot's been going on. January has brought a number of things to a completion, though there's been a call also for greater compassion, greater understanding and tolerance. That is the 9 cause. January was a 9 month, almost out of January. So we're already feeling the vibration of the 1. So you've got the 9. What comes after the 9 in numerology? We've completed the cycle, we're back to 1. 1 is the new beginning. It's of the mind. It's about watching out that people don't become too fixed in their mind, but there can be a lot of innovation. We begin new journeys. Universally, there will be a lot of new beginnings, new things. The negative is the single-mindedness that can come with that. And hopefully the beautiful energy of the 2 in March will take that in another direction. But this is all part of what's going. Now with an 8 year, one of the things with an 8 year is that it's a money number, it's a business number, it's a number that requires good judgment. So when working with the 8 energy, you can, go do those business deals and all this, but you also need to use good judgment. Because if you don't, it can all fall down. Because one of the other sides of the 8 is that you can have a lot of emotional challenges. So, as with everything in life, there's always that double-edged sword. You can have the positive, but then there's going to be the other side. Some call it the shadow side. But like with the infinity symbol, the 8 just keeps flowing. It keeps going. Now 8 also prepares us for the following year, which is the 9, a completion year. 2025 is going to be a year where we're going to see a lot of things come to an end. This will be a time also where we're going to need to have a lot of compassion, a lot of understanding. There could be a lot of drama, a lot of theatrics. And let's face it, in politics you get a hell of a lot of that. So we work with that and we understand, but love each other. So use good management in 2024 and find the love for everyone in 2025. It's not that hard. And I will go deeper into this, would you believe deeper? This was only going to be a shorty, like me. So, yeah, I'm in one of my moods. I'm always in a mood, usually a good mood. You don't want me when I'm in a shitty mood. Anyway, I had it all set up there, what I was going to talk about, and I just went totally off track, and I'm like, okay, well, whatever happens is whatever happens. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. Where did I put it? Oh, I put it back over there. I was going to show you the book. I'll do that when I do a proper February one, because what I am hoping to do is just give some basic energies for each day of February. And what I would suggest is also not only just look at the numerology, but look at the astrology and see where it goes, and see if you can figure out from what I said to work out your own numbers. And then over time I'm going to be talking more about what each number represents, and eventually even the letters of your name, and I use the name at birth is the main one, but your name, each letter has a number. It correlates with numbers, and what's it? The number 5. Number 5 is your E, N, and W. So E, N, and W come under number 5. But then there's each of those letters have their own little vibration that goes with it. So it can get really, really involved. But then, like I said before, we're all individuals. So why not find out what makes you tick? Not what makes someone else tick. Well, that's a really good sticky beak. Numerology is a good sticky beak. But know what makes you tick, because if you know what makes you tick, you can actually work on your strengths far better, and you can gain a better understanding of where you are in life. And on that note, after saying it was going to be a quickie, 22 minutes later, I'm saying bye-bye. I will see you next time, and I will do what I said I'm going to do. And if you want to, you heard me talk about my dad. It's a long video, but it's quite a big story. So please watch it. Please let me know what you think. He's been around me today, so it's been pretty special. He's given me lots of hugs. If you've never had a spirit hug, oh, it's like you feel this pressure and you feel this warmth, and your heart just fills with the most incredible sense of love. So I hope you all get to experience that, because it is amazing. I love it. I even got teary. So anyway, on that note, I shall bid you adieu. Please take care. Please be kind to yourself, be kind to others. And always think, when it comes to someone else, how would I like to be treated if I was in their shoes? Not what would I do if I was in their shoes, because you don't know. You don't know how you're going to react. But what would I want if I was in their shoes? How would I want to be treated if I was in their shoes? It's a very, very big thing. Okay. Well, we'll talk again later, another time. Even though I do all the talking, but you do the comments and all that, and I really love it. I've got some great, what do they call it? They say best chatters in some of the lives. I've got some of the best comments. I love them. And on that, I'll say bye-bye, and I haven't melted away, so maybe it is starting to cool down. We're expecting storms in the next few days, and hopefully that will bring relief. I'll catch you later. Bye.